Okay. So I'm Mathieu, and so I'm part of the Astro-COLIBRI team, and I will now show you more what you could do with the current version. So go a bit all over the interface, different functionality. So this will be mainly a live demo, and yeah, as we have a lot of time, if you have questions at any point, don't hesitate to interrupt and ask them, so you could know better how to use Astro-COLIBRI. So first, this is more or less what I've been presented just before the overall organization by Patrick. And me, I will really focus on the interface here, so how you could use it. So Astro-COLIBRI for the interface, you have mainly two solutions. So the website where you just go to astrocolibricom and you have the website loading and you could play with it. Or you have a smartphone application both for Android and iOS to access it. And so yeah, on the documentation, so Astro-COLIBRI.science, you have information on how to access the API, who allow to automate quite a lot of things if you want to access things for like doing visibility plot or concept yourself. So as I said, we have a web and a smartphone interface, and I would like to insist that we have exactly the same functionality on both. It's just a change of how things are displayed to adapt to smartphone. So instead of having this one big screen with everything, you have 5 main screens but it's equivalent. It's really the same thing, just not display the same way because you don't use your smartphone the same way you use your computer. So first, when you want to use Astro-COLIBRI, you want to look at potential interesting events. And so here are the most recent events. As mentioned, you have the timeline there where you have also when have been detected the events and a sky map. So on the website, if you, for example, say, hey, this one look nice, you could click on it. And here, for example, it's a gravitational wave event. So each symbol corresponds to a category of events. And so this is the way you could easily recognize them. So for example, these triangles are gravitational waves. All things for star are optical transients. The full circle are GRBs. The difference of color is the difference of instrument. So we could see some reddish, pinkish thing or GCAM. You have the orange one or Swift, and also you could find here, for example, some alert from a pipeline who look at lab data of a flare in aging. So you could then select your event, and if you have never used, you will not have the same small activated like this, and you will have here some basic information about the event. So you will find its position or uncertainty size. For example, this is the last GBM alert with size, a really badly localized one, even for GBM. And if we click on science mode, we could see a bit more things. So you see things extend. For example, we see this event is fairly low significance. And we also automatically go searching for the light curve on GBM website here. There are not that much to see. But yeah, if we look a bit older one, like 8. And here, so I've taken another GBM events, and so you could find here the light curve for GBM. So this kind of dedicated plot will depend each time of what you are looking. So for GBM, we have this prompt light curve. For Swift, you will be able, if you go click here, to get a comparison on the X30 light curve. And so here you have some random selection of some X30 light curve, and you will see in blue the one of the actual GRB you look like. So look like this one is really an average one of the distribution. No, it's a randomization in the full sample because if you put really all GRBs, you don't see a lot. But yeah, I think it's like 10%, something like that. But randomly selected, but I've been selected only one time, so you will always have the same in the plot. Yeah, yeah, but it's fixed now, and you will always have the same. If we yes, look at this GV flare, so you have the aperture photometry coming from the tool. So on the last few weeks, so the red point are 1 day, and the blue are 3-day integration. It's drawn from a tool which is called a FlapLook, with looking at targeted now old AGN in the sky for potential variability. But it's not like FAVA where it's a bit more completely blind search. Here it's targeted on a given position of known sources. So now let's imagine you have an interesting event. Let's say, for example, this one, and okay, maybe not this one, not look really nice to observe with a telescope currently, but okay, this one. So you have some tools to help you plan. So for example, here the observatory set for observation is S, and so you will see when it's possible to observe. And you have some range of observation time for given zenith position. But you could also look monthly. And so here it's give you in the different shade when it will be above a given altitude in the sky for the full next month. But maybe you are not working in S, and you want to generate it for another observatory. So you could choose to change the observer location and select an observatory here. So for example, you would like to look with VLT, or non-SEF, for example, you want to take radio data. So you select it, and it will update the automatically the visibility plot, so you could see it's different. And for the predefined observatory, already take into account some aspects of the specificity of field. But if you have an observatory which is not here, you could define it here and save it. And especially if you create an account, it will be a link to your account, and so you will be able to keep it. And one small specificity of mobile is you will be able to use the GPS of your phone to say, hey, set my observatory right here. So this could be mainly useful, I guess, for amateur astronomer, but okay, currently nothing about it. It's something that could be interesting to look into. Yeah. But we don't have a lot of knowledge on visibility of space observatory, so we likely need some help on this subject to be able to achieve it. It's more.
Only to duplicate what is already existing in Toby, right? I mean, if you can click to the Toby link, which is the prototype of the IVOA format used to define visibility and access to schedules. Yeah, you have the visibility, you have the visibility of all the information of the left are part of that.
And so yeah, with this tool you're able to see if you could observe it and when, and so to plan the observations. But as you see, there are quite a lot of events. So yeah, you, for example, you are interested only in supernova, so you could deactivate all filters and then reactivate the one for supernova, and now you have only supernova in your sky. But if you want, for example, to see if there are some GRBs connected, you could activate this one of GRBs and to see if there are anything. And so you could choose here either your type of event or you're interested, or maybe you don't like an instrument, or say you want only localized GRBs, so Fermi ones and GCAM ones I don't want because localization is way too worse to make any follow-up with the instruments. So here I've still got all GRBs, all localized GRBs, because I've got the Swift and integral one, but the one from Fermi and GCAM have been removed. And so something we just introduced a few days ago is possible to have some subfilters. So here, for example, for the unclassified optical transients who just arrived also on Astro-COLIBRI, if you maintain your click until you have a new window open where you could see a few selection things. And so, for example, for this unclassified events from base, it will only show you the one with a magnitude of at least 18. But now maybe you have a very powerful telescope and you want to go look further. So you could say, oh, to 30. And now you see you have a lot of things who appeared because a lot more. Or as the opposite, you have a much less powerful, and anything more than 15, you are not able to observe it anyway. And here you have only the few above. It's 2 weeks. Yeah, you have here this button, and you could just say, for example, instead of the 5th, I want to add 1 more week, and you load a bit more. And so yeah, you were mentioning Unistellar. So Unistellar, you could here, for example, if in the unclassified optical transients, if you want only Unistellar events, you could click here, and we could see now we don't have any stellar event in the last 2. I thought so. Oh yeah, the magnitude cut. So we could see that we have now 3 interstellar events, and for those you have direct access here. So here you have a list of links to quite a lot of external service. The exact one you have available will depend on the events. But for Unistellar, here you have a link to Unistellar, and if you're on your smartphone, will directly bring you to the Unistellar app. And so there are not this what we call subfilters for every category of event. But we have already defined for some events. And if you are interested in specific subfilters, we could look to put in place, and how we could customize for them, let us know. So for example, some for classified optical transients have already quite a lot, depending on the TNS classification. But yeah, for example, for GRB, if you look, we have currently nothing. So if you're interested in being able to filter something specific, yeah, let us know. And also one requested feature was for optical to maybe select alerts who come from specific observatory. So this is now possible. You have a subfilter in the over to be able, for example, if you are only interested in Gaia alerts, to see only the Gaia ones. So yeah, also something who is possible could be interesting is to search for things around a given position. For example, here we could see that we have some a GV flare from given AGN. So if we want to look at what look like the region around, so this is performing a cone search in the 10-degree region around, and here you have all the 4 FGL sources, as also the TEFCAT catalog. You will have some the history of neutrino events, and you could control with also these filters. For example, let's say you're not interested in neutrino, you could deactivate the RSCAT catalog, and now you have 4GL. And so this could allow you to search for specific things around, especially poorly localized events. And also something which is possible now that we have put so TilePal in a cloud infrastructure with an API is also to do tiling compute for your given observatory on gravitational waves. So you have, say, when you select a gravitational wave alert, here you will have a compute schedule button will appear, and it will compute you an observation plan for the observatory settings you have put. So when you select your observatory, you have to give your field of view and this kind of information. So here you have the lists of pointing computed for trying to optimize what you could do that you will find here. And on the map, it's displayed again. We have on the version actually a small bug, but it's already fixed, just not deployed yet. But yeah, so if you go like right now, you will not find this tile displayed, but this fix arrive very soon. And so it allows you to visualize where you will point relative to the alert and to see what you will do. And this is also accessible from an API directly, where you could set much more things compared to what you could do from the Astro-COLIBRI interface. And then it will run on these cloud infrastructures, and you will get back exactly the same information as Astro-COLIBRI, but a bit more customized for you. And so the website is tilepark.com, and you have the API there and some documentation on how to use it. And just, it could take a bit of time to compute, so don't be surprised either in Astro-COLIBRI or when you're using it, if you press the button, but it's not instant. The time of compute strongly depends on the events and their properties. Sometimes it could be a few seconds, sometimes it could be a few minutes. And also a new functionality was like 2 or 3 months old, is the ability to share events. So here you have a button, and this copy a link to the clipboard. And if you send this link to someone, it will arrive either on the application or the website with directly the right event selected. So this able to say to a colleague, hey, I've seen this event, it was interesting, what do you think about? Send the link, and it will arrive with all the information also on this panel accessible directly, because you do not have to search for the event. So finally, something which is the only functionality specific to one interface is the event notification, which is only on smartphone. And here, so you have this notification panel where you could say, hey, I want GRB alerts, or I want national alerts, gravitational wave, maybe only the significant one, because yeah, if you look at everything, you will receive a lot. Some optical transients and things. So, and yeah, for example, here you have the unistellar one, who are just there. And so if you just click on this one, you will only receive the events and from the Interstellar Science program. Finally, to show a bit what has been done based on the last workshop, so there were a few ideas proposed at it. And so there were some ideas of the improvement on optical transients. So with the question of more filtering, so this is just right now available, but yeah, likely we have to discuss a bit more about the exact filter to set. A bit more feedback from the people interested in this thing will allow us to improve things, but then it should be quite fast for at least data who are already in our database to establish this. Then there was some idea about to update the magnitude to the last one. So this, as is not directly notified by TNS yet, we don't have it. But for likers, this is a point of the current workshop of maybe looking at exactly how to look data, to take data from which service to try to gather data from, several places, because, for example, we could directly think or ample, but you will have only ZTF data who are quite sparse in some way. But maybe you will want to look also at sky patrol data or other sources, how to gather all of this and make one single light curve. So the Swift XRT light curve for GRB was proposed, is now available. We have some display of uncertainty regions, so for gravitational waves and Fermi GRBs, and some other display of flaring activity for 4FGL. So I would say this is partially available because we don't have Fava plot directly, but yeah, for this selected list of events, you have alerts and the light curve associated. And finally, so we have now the TALPAL with integrated, who will allow you to do easily gravitational scheduling. And even if we will hope for better localized alerts, we will simplify still the follow-up in the second part of 04. And finally, to an easy access to latest IRTLs, because if you want, if you click currently on getting IRTLs, as it's based on the ADS, you only have IRTLs typically a week late. So this is currently ongoing, and yeah, Attila will talk a bit more during the workshop part, as is also looking to work some NLP models to extract information from them and not just reference them. So yeah, thanks for your attention. If you have any question about the feature, how to use Astro-COLIBRI or things, yeah, don't hesitate.